Hey guys, so this is really impromptu. Like, I have on house clothes, my face isn't beat, but I'm about to start dinner and I'm going to attempt to bring you guys with me. We're going to make meatballs. This is not traditional Italian way. This is the Regina way, okay? So I'm gonna tell you what I have. So I have a bowl of ground beef, and I have some ground chicken. I like to mix mine together. We got some panko, and we got some croutons. And we are going to use Tuscan and bacon basil by Tella Homemade. Got it? I have some peppers and some tomatoes from our garden. We're gonna chop these. Also have an onion from the garden, and we are going to chop all of that with the food processor because ain't nobody got time to be using no knife, y'all. So I'm gonna take the center out of the pepper. I don't want any seeds. Throw that in there. Remove the center. We'll break it. Throw that in. Onion is really big, so I'm gonna chop it a little, and then we're gonna toss that in there. You don't want to puree it. You want it to be chopped because you want to be able to taste your peppers and your onions in your meatball. Let's see. That's enough right there. So now we are going to crumble some croutons as one of the binding elements. So we're going to use some croutons as well as some breadcrumbs, and I'm just going to use my rolling pin to crunch them up. So now we are going to take our wedding ring off because you don't want to get any meat inside your ring. And as you can see, I add the peppers and the onions to the ground beef. Now we are going to add the ground chicken. That didn't touch it. Get you some eggs. He's barking at somebody outside. So you're going to crack your egg. Just add it in there. I only use one egg. Some people use two. It's totally up to you. Totally. Fridge. We are going to take some Tuscan by Tella Homemade and just shake it all on top. Like so. Now we're going to add those breadcrumbs that we crumbled. Add those. Then we're going to add some panko breadcrumbs. And then we're going to get our hands dirty because now you're just going to take your hand, go in here, and just mix it all together. Just mix it. You want to make sure you scoop up that egg. You see the egg? Scoop all that up, and we're going to mix it all together, and then we're going to make some balls. So you're going to mix all of that up. And when you mixing, you make sure you use one hand to mix and you keep your other hand clean. That way you can grab your pans and anything like that that you may need. Let's wash our hands. Okay, now that we have clean hands, we're gonna get some cheese because I like to add just a little mozzarella into the meatballs. Shake some in there. As much as or as little that you like. Boom. Like so. Just mix it. Mix all that up. Now what we're gonna do is you're just gonna make some balls. Size does not matter. It's all based on your preference. So I'm just gonna grab some of our meat, put it in my hand like so. Take my hands like this. Just roll it into a bowl. Ooh, almost dropped it. Now I'm gonna finish these balls and then I'll be back. Some people like to add grape jelly to their meatballs. I think that's like a southern thing, maybe, but I don't. I prefer more of a savory meatball. Now with this batter, you're gonna have some leftover. So what you will do is you will roll your balls and just put them in a freezer safe bag and freeze it for the next time you want some meatballs. Maybe you want to make some spaghetti and meatballs, maybe some let's see meatball subs. Like I often does this when the weather starts to get cold, because it saves time on cooking when you already have something in the freezer already prepared. All the thing you got to do is throw it out and cook it. So that's what I like to do. I like to marinate my meats and everything and then freeze it. Maybe I'll walk you guys through that next week, because the weather is changing here in Maryland. Like it's cold. Now, after I rolled all of my balls, I wash my hands again. It's very important that you wash your hands constantly when you are touching any raw meat. This is how it looks. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it in the refrigerator for maybe an hour or so. That way the balls can set in their shape. And then we're gonna throw it on the stove. We're gonna brown each side, and then you pop it in the oven. While your meatballs is in the fridge resting, we're gonna prepare our sauce. We're gonna use this, and we're gonna crush some tomatoes. Aren't they gorgeous? I'm so proud of my garden this season, y'all. Y'all have no idea. So I'm gonna plug this in. Already put some in here. So now we're going to dice some onions. Make them a little finer. Just dump your onions. Get all of them. All of it. Throw it in there. And you just want to crush. I already started some, but just go in there. Just crush. You can make it smooth. You can make it little thick, little chunky. It's totally up to you. Now, if for whatever reason you don't have any fresh tomatoes, that is fine. What you can do is just go to your local grocery store and get you a can of tomato paste and tomato sauce. Just the sauce, not Prego, not ragu, just tomato sauce. That is it. So now we are going to take some basil spice by Tella Homemade. This is how our tomatoes look. And you're just gonna shake those on top. And now I am going to add some mushrooms. We are a mushroom family. You can add some mushrooms, bigger onions. You can add some peppers. Totally up to you. I'm also going to add a little garlic, just a little bit. And you know what? We're also going to add some fresh garlic. So take your piece of garlic and just smush it with your hand. It makes it easier to peel. So you want to peel the skin off, like so. And then we are going to chop. I'm going to toss that garlic in there. And then we are going to pop it on the stove on low. Let it simmer for about an hour or so. I like more of a traditional flavor to pasta sauce, tomato sauce. I don't like it sweet, but once it is on the stove for maybe 15 minutes, if you like it a little sweet, add a little sugar to it. So we're gonna put this on the stove, and then I'll be back when it's time to cook up the meatball.